Hi, I'm Diane, and I'm going to be talking, ranting, / conversing about body image in video games. So you're probably thinking, oh, another overweight cow, talking about how she doesn't look thin like the other girls. Well, that's not really the case. Well, that's partially true, but that's the whole point about body image. More on that later. By Pew Research study in 2008, nearly 97% of teens played video games. And what does that mean? Video games aren't just something that Bill, the weird AV kid, played in his house in the dark with a bag of Cheetos and a bottle of Mountain Dew. And if your name is Bill and you did all the things above, I'm sorry for singling you out. That was not my intention. Video games are actually now a part of our culture. We reference games in our everyday lives.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
This role-playing game, out in 2004, returns to the world of Azeroth, where heroes like Leroy Jenkins do battle. And that would be the world of Warcraft.
There are movies out there that are even about games. The media that now plagues and shapes the mind of our youth, that help us choose the clothes we wear, the food we eat, the type of toilet paper that we use, is now melding with the once reclusive group of gamers to create a monolithic media monster that would devour our souls in a vicious cycle of doom. I digress. The media has always reflected and grasped what we as a society see as the perfect human form. Although where media starts and society begins and ends, it's really hard to discern the two. However, what we do see in video games is that it's adding to this cultural cycle on their own take of how the human form should look. Since art is a major player in this for video games, let's take a look at this from the artist's perspective. Heroes in general tend to be tall, nearly 8 to 9 heads tall, heads being the common unit of measurement for creating the human form, i.e. the measurement of the head. But the average Joe is really only about 6 to 7 heads tall on average. The ideal man, i.e. the hero, is not only tall but buff, with shoulders that measured about 4 heads across, where the average Joe is only about 3 heads across. Even games that allow you to make your own hero tend to stick to this overdeveloped formula. They also tend to be more muscled and exaggerated than what is commonly depicted in other forms of media, often look like they've taken steroids. Lots of steroids. Much like their male counterparts, heroines tend toward the more statuesque look, or what I like to call the Amazonian look. Thank you, Wonder Woman. They're average about 8 to 9 heads tall as well, with a narrow waist, supple and often ginormous breast, and extremely wide or unrealistically narrow hips. She is then considered the ideal goddess. This projection of the female form probably sprouted around an older time, roughly around the 1950s. Think Betty Page, pinups, and Marilyn Monroe. But still influenced the gaming industry due to this being the norm with a lot of comic book heroines, like Wonder Woman and She-Hulk. Body image has changed over time in the gaming community. Let's head over to the time machine and compare. And the real point of it all, body image is something that affects us, and now that gaming is a part of our lives, how gaming depicts body image can also affect us. Granted, body image depends on the person, and we all get jealous of others if we think they look better than us, and that's just how it's going to be. However, in our fantasy worlds online or in the gaming world, I don't see why we have to steer so far away from who we truly are as people. That's just really escaping it. If game developers and designers would stop leaning towards the sex sells by creating those super exaggerated demigods and just created characters that look average but we're still the hero, I feel that most people would not only be receptive to it, but connect with the hero on a much deeper level. I just want game designers to not only think about the character's backstory, but how the character will affect the people that play the game. Hey, give the next hero a bit of a beer belly, or make the next heroine really, really short. It's not only going to give your storyline to work, not only give you storyline to work with, but makes the character more believable and more human because of it. And I'm just sick and tired of the media puking up the same old Skinny Jenny and Buffy Bobby, and you should be too. Be adventurous, think outside the box. I want to be able to see myself, me, defeating the dragon, or shooting down the plane with a bazooka. Not some skinny pansy girl that doesn't even look like she can pick up her pet poodle without breaking her back. Just when you think of characters, think of who you want to see win.